Well, our big talker is our final question today, which is the bomb squad. And of course, that continues to be something that splits opinion. Um, I was going to say I've got two interviews that I've done, one with All Blacks legend Sean Fitzpatrick and Springbok great Mark Andrews. And I asked them about what they thought about the bomb squad. We're going to play those clips to you now, and then we're going to get our panel today to react. You'll hear Fitzpatrick talking about it first and what he thinks about this innovation. Rassie Erasmus has helped revolutionize the game. South Africa is one of the teams that loads their bench with forwards. The All Blacks don't. You've always had brilliant backline to complement your forwards. Where do you stand on the bomb squad debate? There's those who...
I think what Rassie's done, he's those are the laws, and he's made the best out of it. To work out. I think it was during the 2019 World Cup that he worked out. A player coming off the bench had to have an impact within 30 seconds, which no one else even thought about that. And so things like that, and bringing power off the bench is going to work. It has to work, and they have big men. So if it works, it works. Is the game getting, especially in that last sort of 20 minutes when you've got big men up against tired men, you may be going to have more injuries. So we just need to be really careful in terms of the safety of our game. The World Rugby's been really good on the head injury protocols. Maybe we need to look at other, in terms of men of that size, in the last 20 minutes coming up against fatiguing bodies, there could be issues.
We're forwards, so maybe we like the idea, and we're South Africans. But what's your takeaway with the bomb squad? How do you see their role and how it's influenced rugby as we know it?
So Zayn, it's a very hard question for me to answer, purely because as a rugby purist, when I started, I think my first 30-something test matches, I played every minute. Because you could only leave the field if you were injured, and there was a doctor on the side, and you had to be bleeding or physically showing blood, or you had to have a broken leg or broken something to get off that field. Was that great and safe? No, because players who were forced to play injured, because you couldn't leave the field, and you only, I think, had 4 reserves, or 3 reserves. I first started, then 4 reserves. So for the safety side of rugby, to have as many reserves as they have now, I think is the right decision for the safety side of the player's career. Has Rassie taken advantage of that because of the incredible talent we have in South Africa and thinking out the box? Yes. Has it served South Africa well? Absolutely. No other nation has 2 equally strong packs like we have. Rassie proved it last year by choosing 54 players, most of them forwards. I mean, most South Africans wouldn't really be able to tell you who the strongest tight 5 was, because he could mix and match. So I don't have a problem with it. I think hats off to Rassie. He's been brilliant in working out and taking what's our strength, the fact that we have so many incredibly talented rugby players in this country, and making it work for us in the bomb squad. Is it unsafe for the other players? I think the RB have just done a whole assessment now and working out. No, it's not. It isn't a safety risk to the other players who don't have 8 other forwards who they could put in the field, or 7 other forwards. So I think the RB are looking at everything to try and change it, because it gives the World Rugby, it gives us an unfair advantage because of our depth of talent in those positions. They've tried to, but they haven't changed it for this coming season. I just think it's down to Rassie's brilliance and South Africa having as much talent in the forwards as we have. So, I mean, if we have it, use it.
Peter, Courtney, I'm sure you guys will have your own thoughts too. Maybe, Peter, we start with you. What is your reaction to what Mark and Sean were saying?
So, Zayn, I think that both men, what they've said there on the surface, makes a lot of sense, and there's merit in both arguments. But the perfect way to remove any subjectivity from this is to let's go and have a look at what Professor Ross Tucker said, right? You're familiar with Tucker and his work.
Absolutely.
He's actually helped World Rugby at various stages, especially in terms of things like concussion and research into player welfare. And we know that World Rugby is currently obsessed with player welfare and head injuries specifically. So here's the thing, right? What the bomb squad does is it brings on fresh players, and then obviously the contention from a man like Fitzpatrick is that it's fresh players versus tired players, okay? What Professor Tucker's research has shown us is the following. A tired player versus another tired player. This is obviously in the second half when you've actually got fatigue, right? Tired player versus tired player brings about the highest occurrence of injury. The highest percentage chance of having an injury is tired player versus another tired player. The lowest threshold for those injuries is fresh player versus fresh player. So if the bomb squad come on and the opposition are also making changes, because let's be honest, they also do make changes, maybe not in the same way that we do or necessarily at exactly the same time, but by the end of the match, they've also got all 8 of their replacements on the field. Fresh player versus fresh player equals the least chance of an injury. So that dispels the notion that the bomb squad are coming on and causing damage to the opposition from a physical health or welfare perspective. Matt Williams is another man who has complained about this.
Your good friend, also, Peter.
I had to work him in there, you know. But that, again, that argument therefore just becomes useless, really, because fresh player versus fresh player, obviously the least chance of an injury. Fresh player versus tired, the second least opportunity for injury or percentage wise. And then obviously tired player versus tired player, that's when you have the highest percentage chance for an injury.
The two professionals, Zayn, give a lovely point on the health and well-being of the rugby player. We want them to go home. We want them to spend time with their families. We don't want them to be fragile people after the game. We don't want that. Okay, so we understand this. But you must remember, Zayn, this is rugby. It's a physical sport. We don't play that sport that happens in America with the helmets and all the pads. We don't have that.
Sorry, what did you say, Peter de Villiers?
We don't do that. That's a joke of a sport. You're so padded up and everything. I don't know how to even move. Our game is authenticity and physicality all in one. But I agree with the analysis that Peter just put in there. You know, where the research has been done and people have been looked at how injuries occur. But injuries can occur at any stage, Zayn. What you do find is the respect for each other in the rugby culture. If you just watch players don't play brutally reckless rugby. The players are physical, but not reckless. And this is something that we maybe need to give the rugby players a bit more credit for. Injuries do happen, like they happen in any sport. And rugby is a very physical sport. But let's not start criticizing our points that are making us win games. And then, because you must remember, Fitzpatrick is very happy for World Rugby to do something to disable the bomb squad. He would be very happy. Doesn't make us more of a threat to New Zealand. And I hope wherever he's sitting today, tomorrow, or in the future, we are coming for the record in New Zealand. It finished. It dies here. It's finished. Him that started the streak, it's going to be finished. He's now going to know that the All Blacks no longer have the streak. We are coming for the 5th World Cup. That's the only thing he should be worried about. Nothing else.
You know what I like about this? When we started Rugby Africa, our rugby strand here on the whistle, that's the first thing Courtney was talking about. We're going to win in New Zealand. That's the goal.
Zayn, where else do you take this Boks team? Where else? All right? You take this Boks team to Everest. That's where you got to go. And where is the Everest? It's waiting for us in New Zealand. They are waiting for us, Zayn.